Good morning, 9 a.m., Saturday, March 15th, and no, that's not Spall from a neighboring bay shooting steel too close. It's Pacific Northwest weather time. It's about 41 degrees out and dumping rain, but I am happy to be at the range because I haven't been able to be for a few weeks. As many of you know, I film in batches to cover when I can't film, and that's what just happened. I spent a week in Germany for M-Force TAC and Ewa Classics. I was there for work, unfortunately, so I don't have media coverage for you. In fact, this year, man, it's really raining. I hope it's coming through okay, not too noisy. But this year, M-Force TAC didn't want me to provide media coverage. They declined the media pass. So I took a picture of the outside of the show, and that's it. I guess they want to promote a division between military law enforcement arms and commercial arms. But whatever, it's Europe. That's what they get away with. After that, I spent a week in Finland. Came home to a tremendous flu that, man, it's really raining. Flu that had me laid out for 3 days. I lost 11 pounds. Didn't eat for 2.5 days. And today is the first day after that. And I'm at the range because I've got stuff to do tomorrow, Sunday. And the next 2 weekends, I'll be busy as well. So this is my only day to film. So if I get on, I'm going to film it. Is it silly to shoot in this weather? I argue no. And that's because I'm a defensive shooter, not a gamer shooter. And defensive shooting doesn't tend to happen when you're on your A game. I'm recovering from sickness, it's cold, and it's dumping rain. And I'd argue that that's better training than waiting for the perfect day anyways. So if you carry a gun for defense, practice your B game. Not your A game. Don't wait for those A game times. I mean, sure, it's fun if you want a fun day at the range. Wait for that perfect weather and time. But otherwise, if it's shitty out, go for it. If you're not feeling great, but you're healthy enough to safely shoot, go for it. Because, at least as I see it, if I have to draw my gun in self-defense, I'm not going to be feeling tip-top. I'm not going to be super alert. I'm not going to be waiting for the beep. It's going to surprise me. So the more I shoot when I'm not feeling great, the better the training I think it is. Why am I here today? Got 2 guns to review that came in while I was overseas. First one of excitement is the Fusion Firearms XF Pro. Get our focus to work here. Hope we don't have focus challenges today with this weather. The XF Pro may look familiar because that's some rain. The Airmox X-Fire is what it's based off of. Fusion Firearms was a custom 1911 shop, and they partnered with Airmox to bring this in, as well as the XP Pro, which I've already reviewed. And it's kind of funny because I had been in talks with Fusion, or with Airmox, about some tweaks that I'd like to see done to the X-Fire. And then things kind of went quiet. Well, during that time, they were forming their partnership with Fusion Firearms, who had their own input, which I'm happy to see. Seems to be very similar to what I was suggesting. Some nice changes to this. Patrons, you guys have already seen the tabletop for this. Everyone else, it'll be coming out soon. But we'll run it through its paces. Note, I did not pay attention to this during the tabletop because I was, well, just recovering from the flu. That was my first day of leaving the house. But the frame is not marked Airmox. It's marked Fusion Firearms. Not imported by or anything like that, but just straight up Fusion Firearms. So I believe this may now be technically an American firearm, which would be kind of cool. The other one is the Canik MC9 Prime. I had mixed feelings about this. Overall, so far, very positive feelings. I discovered an interesting trick that Canik did. Some of you are aware, if you've seen my video about an important decision, is I'm not a huge fan of ports on carry guns for various reasons. One of which is something that a lot of influencers have been learning, and that is if you're shooting plated bullets, and most ammo companies don't tell you if it is plated, and that bullet rips by a port, that plating can come off and then be directed at that port into your face, into your hands, into nearby, like, you end up spalling yourself while shooting. And I believe Canik has a solution to that worked into this. Very cleverly done, similar to the clever trick they did on the muzzle-weighted and ported TTI Combat. not compensated, corded and muzzle weighted. I think they did something brilliant on here. I've got a variety of ammo, as I always do. Is it plated or not? I don't know. Am I going to get showered with stuff? I don't think so, but I'm going to be on the lookout for that. Those are the two that I hope to film today, weather permitting. I'm going to get out there. Anyways, I've got my rain jacket on. I've got my layers on. Should be keeping me warm. Thank you guys for 10 years of support. Thank you for your patience as I've been a bit busier with this new job. A lot more travel that tends to overlap on the weekends, which is when I film because, well, I'm a working man, just like you guys. I'm not an influencer. Never taken a dime for any public-facing footage. I don't do paid placements, any of that stuff. I have a real job to pay the bills, and I do this in my free time. When I have less free time, that makes it more difficult to do this. Is rain like ammo? I ask because sometimes when I've been out here shooting and there have been shooters at other bays, which is great, they've been hammering away and folks have complained about the noise. Now, I like to celebrate that someone else is out training and shooting. That's a good thing. But when they hammer away, that also means they're burning their ammo quicker and they eventually run out of ammo and go home. So does rain do the same thing? Here in the Northwest, we get lots of rain, usually not heavy rain, but during this hour that according to the forecast was the only hour of no rain, it seems to be pretty heavy. I don't know. I'm going to get out and film it. You guys will have some pretty wet videos coming up soon. If I can remember, I'll do the aftershots thoughts for you. Thanks for watching. I lucked out. As you may have noticed, I have dropped the rain jacket and I'm able to be comfortable in just a light puffer. The rain went away. It was dumping all through setup, and right as I was hanging my head getting ready for it, it just stopped and has held off through to here. Completed both guns. The Fusion X-Fire Pro is definitely a different gun than the X-Fire was. Did I say X-Fire? The Fusion XF Pro is a different gun than the X-Fire was. The X-Fire had a lot of potential. I think Fusion helped realize a lot of that potential and really made a good gun. There is a price increase. I think it's worth it. Plus, it appears you're now paying for an American gun. The frame, the receiver, was only marked with Fusion Firearms, not imported by, not marked by Airmox, any of that. We, of course, know the original concept came from Airmox and that the two companies are working in partnership. But so potentially you've got American made, but you definitely have a higher cost to produce the new version. With that thumb ledge being that the receiver comes from aluminum, that means you got to start with a bigger block of aluminum and machine away more material, more waste material, more machine time, higher cost. The Canik METE MC9 Prime is what I just shot after that. And Canik continues to impress. It's amazing. This, to me, is kind of a race gun that's had, or a carry gun that's had a lot of race gun tech. That was the target camera. It's that poor thing. It's so old. But this is a pocketable race gun. I would almost say it's, I mean, not quite pocketable, but you know, it's thin and lightweight, easy for carry. Personally, I'm still not a fan of ports for carry, but that's a decision for you to make, not for me to make. The trigger is definitely on the lighter, crisper side, but heck, I carry double stack 1911, so it's something you can train for and you decide when you're ready for. What I think is really neat about this is it appears that we now have a practical gun for US PSA. If that organization and the shooters in it could remember what the P stands for, practical, this is a carryable gun that you could also compete with, and I think you wouldn't be at too much of a big disadvantage from some of the other more competition guns. It's not quite an open gun. I don't know the rules anymore. Maybe the ports make it a rule or make it an open gun. But point being, it's not a gun that you would only use for competition. This is a gun that has practical purposes as well, and it brings that P back. So thank you, Canik, for making that happen. Hope you guys enjoy the videos. Patrons, I'll get them to you as quickly as I can. I'm coming up on more travel So I'll be out of the loop for a while, but hopefully I'll get all that stuff uploaded to you. Non-patron viewers, you can look for the stuff to be published over the next couple weeks. Thanks for watching.
Thank you to our Patreon supporters. GBGuns and I do 2 level. Andrew P. Joseph T. Randy A. L.G. Peter A. Tom. Moises S. Fast Eddie. Fallow 115. Brian P. Sky King Derek S. Jr. Donald H. Jenna I. Greg K. David F. Thanks for the tip level. David B. Kratos, the God Slayer. Andrew B. Lee H. Christopher J. J.S. Farhan and Gryphons. Jeff O. Michael W. David G. Okai Tuba. Robert B. Ohio. Criffler. Steve Briscoe County Jr. Rich R. Red Sky Y. Ed Z. Fierce Set of Assists. Uncle Muncie Allen B. Laura P. Andrew C. Taka Joni Justin H. Brian K. Keeping things honest, level. Gary B. Leif